No, I actually can't see on the Steam. Oh, okay. Now I see it.
It works, right?
Yeah, it works well.
And now it must be running on YouTube.
Yeah, it works.
Cool. That's awesome. That everything is running smooth and well. All right. So, okay, what we're gonna do for today? So, today we just will be running around the map, maybe showing you some new things which we currently have updated in Beast Tower. And also we will be discussing the following topic, which actually we mentioned quite a lot, but never, had as a theme for our talk via QA streaming. So,
in my city.
as you must have just heard, that we have new phrases for the keeper, who is in charge of announcing all the events happening during the match. So, let's see what's be doing and happening right now. Okay, so as I said, we have a quite, I would say, an unusual topic, but which is really connected with the game. So, as you all may already know, that Daria is a big fan not only of Beast Tower, but of DBD also. And how many hours have you played in this game by now?
1,500.
Whoa, that's impressive. That's really impressive. So, as you may see, among our team there are a lot of people who are big fans of DBD. That's why, well, actually we are making Beast Tower, because Beast Tower is, of course, inspired by the game, and we have lots of, inspiration coming from this whole idea of asymmetric PvP gameplay, when you decide whenever you are a prey or a hunter. Although in Beast Tower you can somehow even kill the hunter, being a tough prey, and vice versa. So for now we will be discussing things like, well, making some parallels and trying to sorry guys. Apologize for that. Making some parallels and discuss different features of both projects to somehow make some interesting conclusions and I would say ideas. Well, just let's start with a very, I would say, general topic. So, Daria, could you please tell a few words how it just happened that you started playing Dead by Daylight and why you got so excited about that game?
It was a long time ago. My classmate said that it's an amazing game and I should try it. So yeah, I've tried and I really like it because how to say it. It's for on the first time it was really a frightening game. I really feel that mm, I really feel that horror atmosphere. But lately it became just a very fun game for me because I found some friends to play with, and it was really funny to play together. And from that time, I still playing it.
Mm. And what was a kind of a catchy thing which got you so excited about the game that you invested so much time in this title?
Mm. On that time, I enjoyed it because I haven't played something similar, so it was new for me. But lately, I just didn't have a good alternative game to play.
Okay, so another thing which always makes me curious about DBD is the fact that among DBD players there are quite many girls. And I have a lot of friends of mine who are not, well, whose wives and girlfriends enjoy playing this title, although it somehow doesn't look like a thing that, well, I would say a common girl might like because it's quite, bloody, scary, and horroring, which is, well, as far as I see, more male genre of entertainment. So, what do you think? Why girls like this game and are quite a solid part of the community of the title?
I really agree that it's a phenomenon because I think it's the only game where I really met girls mostly than men. But I'm not sure I can explain why girls play this game a lot. But I can only guess that maybe this game not that you don't need a special skill to play it, like for example in shooters or in fightings. So maybe it's easy to start to play Dead by Daylight than some other games.
So, you mean that it doesn't require of you to be a kind of skilled in some tough things like aiming or making beat 'em up combinations or anything similar to that. So you just run and solve, well, not maybe really easy, but quite understandable puzzles, right?
Yes, you
Okay.
don't need a special background in other games. You can just start this game and understand how everything works, and you can see clearly why you lose or why you win.
Hmm. Okay, makes sense. And what was your impression when you saw Beast Tower for the first time? Why you decided to join the team? I mean, what's about this game of ours got you interested?
First of all, its style and the atmosphere in the game itself, and also the style of the game. It's a very dynamic game, and you feel all the time like you're in the flow. You really go deep in the game.
Okay, and did you have any, I mean, DBD vibes when you saw this title? Because you see, one thing which really made me, notice when you were giving your first answer to the question about your story of getting into Dead by Daylight, that, well, after you've played this some time, because of fresh experience, then it turned out that there is no actual title like that on the market, right? So, did you have any idea in this case that, okay, I've found something similar to what I like? Did you have any thoughts like that at that time?
I think yes, and also I can't say that there is no game like Dead by Daylight. There's just no game that can be that excited like Dead by Daylight that can that game where you want to go back again and again. And talking about Peace Tower, mm, it has some similarity with Dead by Daylight, of course, but the more game developing, the less you can find them.
And talking about games similar to Dead by Daylight, have you played any uh, clones of DBD? I mean, maybe such titles as Death Garden, Last Year's a Nightmare, Predator Hunting Grounds. Have you tried them, and what you think about these games?
Yeah, I tried Death Garden. That was a good game, but on that time I wasn't that interested to play it. Maybe if this game were released sometime later, maybe after I played Dead by Daylight so much, I would like to try something new and would play it. And other symmetric games, maybe Prop Night. I
Pop
played
Night?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, a
And
little.
so you, as if I'm not mistaken, you not really got into that. So you decided to stay playing DBD.
Um, no, if there would be a game like Dead by Daylight, I would like to try it, but mostly I just watch the gameplay on the YouTube, and that's all. They just can't be interesting. They don't have that atmosphere that in Dead by Daylight, so I'm not trying.
Okay. But you see, I did my best to try almost every game of asymmetric PvP. Also, I played Death Garden, I played the mentioned Last Year's a Nightmare, and I played Predator Hunting Grounds. But still, I haven't had an opportunity, although they were just available quite time ago, to play Prop Night and to play VHS, Video Horror Society. So, what were your experience of playing these titles? So, or one of them if you didn't try both?
First, some comments uh, in the chat.
Okay.
There were a message that the wall running in our game reminds the game Guns the Duel, if you know it.
Well, honestly, maybe I just need to see how it's written, or maybe to see some screenshots from the game, but I don't believe I know this title, so I would really appreciate if you just maybe okay, so just save this comment so we can have a look at the game after the stream, because I always like to find something new. Well, actually, I don't know this game, I believe, but to the most extent, the wall running in Beast Tower, I mean the wall run along the wall, is mostly inspired by quite an old game called Prince of Persia, Water Within. As you know, there were a brilliant trilogy of several games. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, Prince of Persia: Water Within, and Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones, which were made by Ubisoft. And my personal favorite, as I've told many times, is Prince of Persia: War Within. So from there, we actually took the idea of running along the wall and all the things. So yeah, that's where it goes only roots out, I would say.
And also, there's a person who asked if he can play the game because he followed the game progress for a long time, but haven't noticed
Oh,
an actual way to try the game.
so actually we had already several public tests which happened last year. And now we are preparing the version which we are streaming right now. So we are finishing work on the netcoding and we do some bug solving things. After that, we will announce a new public test which will have lots of new things which we fixed and added from the previous test. So just please keep an eye on our social media, like Twitter, like our Discord, so you won't miss out, because we will be announcing the playtest, well, I believe maybe 1 or even 2 weeks ahead of the date, and we will be really working hard so everyone who wants to try the game would have an opportunity to do so. I can't give the exact date right now, but just stay tuned and you will learn the date as soon as it will be available. Well, you see why we are so careful about giving dates, because, you know, we don't want to make people wait if we don't have time to do things. Guys, we are indie team and we don't have people working full time. That's why it's really hard for us to give exact dates, because as you can see, the game is quite complicated and we do our best to push it more and more. And that's why it requires time to do things. Sorry for that, but I hate being, you know, a person who breaks promises. That's why, please, just keep an eye on our social media, watch our streams, read our posts. We do our best to tell you everything that happens in the game and publishing new stuff as soon as that's available. Okay, so we answered the questions. We can move on with our talk. Daria, do you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, just to sum up. So, apart from the art style and the atmosphere, well, still, did you catch any DBD vibes in Beast Tower when you just saw the project and read about it?
Be in graphics, something like that. I don't know how to explain it correctly,
I understand.
but yeah, it has some similarity.
Yeah, but okay. And when you tried Beast Tower for the first time and played with the team, did you get some thought like, okay, it just some successor to Dead by Daylight, but with different approach? So, what were your experience of comparing these two titles?
Mm, I was amazed maybe and surprised of the idea that I really can fight back to monsters, to other raiders, and yeah, it was amazing. It was something really fresh for me.
Cool. Yeah. Another thing which, you know, always really is very interesting to me. You see that DBD, as far as I know, guys, I need to be frank, I'm not a keen DBD player, although I admire this game in terms of how it's done in many ways. Because, you know, my personal approach to evaluating games, when I see a title, I just see it as a whole thing. Because, you know, saying about, you can say a lot of things about good graphics, but if it doesn't work to solve the gameplay issues, well, it's whenever it's beautiful or not, it doesn't make the game better. Well, it's my approach to thinking about that. I don't take it as you know, as the only way possible. So yeah. So when I saw DBD, I was really, you know, it's very one thing that struck me when I learned that there are a lot of unwritten rules, because there are some issues, as far as I know, with the gameplay. That's why, you know, there are some kind of rules of politeness which all the players should follow. So could you just tell in few words what kind of rule of these are quite popular among the community, and you can even be, you know, people even will get disappointed if you break them?
That's camping and tunneling from the killer. It's a bad idea. It's you always will be criticized, and from the point of survivor, you should always do something for the team. You shouldn't escape alone. You should try to escape with someone to help them, and such things.
Okay, and I believe that if this are kind of rules everyone in the community knows, the devs must be also, know about all these things. So, were there any attempts to implement these rules into the game so people don't have just to get, some toxic attitude if they just don't follow these things because they simply don't know them, playing for the first time?
As an example, can be they give you more points if you help someone, for example, unhook, or from the point of the killer, they added. Forgot how this thing is called. Collapse, as I remember. After the gates are open,
Mm-hmm.
you have maybe 5 minutes to escape, or you will die. It was implemented because some players, after they already opened the game, they haven't escaped. They just seated there and uh, teasing on the killer.
So it
And
was a kind of bullying?
yes, especially if killer couldn't kill someone.
Oh, okay. And all this, because you see, there was such a, somehow strange story, which I came across, that at the beginning, and it was a kind of interview with devs when they were telling all these things. The main idea of Dead by Daylight was that each player should make a tough decision whenever to play for him or herself, just trying to save himself, or try to sacrifice or maybe risk your character in order to help others. And that was a kind of dilemma they wanted all the players to go through in order to make this kind of a moral and even something, some decision. And we can find even in this idea some really cool vibes, that it's not just the game which you play for fun, but the game which gives you some food for thought whenever how you should behave in real life. But then the whole community decided that no, you either just... Okay, I'm sorry, are we still online?
Yes.
Okay, so because I just thought that there was some break in connection. Derek,
No,
could you
no,
please check our media and see if the stream is running?
yeah, it's running, and we even have one message in the chat. There is a person who would like to hear some other asymmetric games because he tried so many, but still want to try something new.
Well, you're most welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Just just join our social media and keep an eye on the posts. And as I've said earlier in the stream, we are preparing a new public test, and we will more than happy to see you there. And just we're happy to learn your feedback about the game. Any ideas and suggestions are always welcomed. Okay, so returning to the questions which we've been discussing. And then the community in DBD actually decided that no, the only viable strategy which we all should follow is saving others. And what do you think about this somehow breakage of the core game idea, which was actually created by devs, by the community? Do you think it's correct, or if it's in right, because community are people who play the game, that's what they are to decide. What's your opinion?
Mm, uh, it has like advantages and disadvantages because there wouldn't be Dead by Daylight mm, wouldn't survive for so long if not the community and it can be understand because nobody wants to be left behind and everyone want to escape, everyone want to win, but it appeared to be like a very toxic relationships between community that you just couldn't play as you want. You need to follow some unwritten rules.
So it's a kind of, well, the behavior which is actually demanded from the player, right? So if you don't do like that, you just get some negative feedback from the community, right?
Yes, but for the last time, I suppose yes.
And
And
did you
someone,
have any, situation of yours when you were, you met such an attitude because you didn't follow these unwritten rules?
yes, of course.
And could you just give some example how it happened?
Uh, just someone after the match can can write you something or on your Steam page like minus rep.
Minus rep?
Yeah, on Steam this comments like plus rep, like minus reputation, plus
Okay.
reputation.
All right. And they even don't tell you what was your mistake, right?
No, they can say something like minus rep, never help others, or a tunneling killer, something like that.
Hmm. Oh, okay. It's really so kind of a game magic for me, for video games in general, that devs may have some ideas, some, uh, you know, thoughts which they put into the game, and sometimes people understand them so differently and play the game so differently that you could never expect that. Well, to some extent, an example can be League of Legends. Well, I believe many of people who watch our stream know this title and play it. Everyone knows that for quite a time in League of Legends, there were only two maps which people played. It was a Summoner Reef, the classical Dota mode of 5 versus 5. And then there was also a Twisted Tree line of 3 versus 3, which was a kind of a fun thing, but was maybe in a couple years ago it was removed from the game because Riot thought that this mode is not that popular and it's not worth spending resources. I'm really sorry, guys. I need to break for a short period of time, and I'll be back soon. Daria, if you could just keep telling your experience of bestowing DVD, I will more than appreciate it. Sorry for that, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So what should I say? If you have any questions, you can write them below. And what I can tell about Peace Tower. For me, this game looks like really a fresh game because I'm not I'm not that often can see games of this time, so I was really surprised that I can be a part of this game and work on it. And for now, for sure, I can say that I really like this game now. And for me, as a Dead by Daylight player, I want to come back at this game like very often when it will be released as a player also. And it always an amazing thing to see how the game is developing, not only like on Beastyle but also on Dead by Daylight, because as I played from actually from the start, from the release of this game, so I saw it like I saw like a really old phase of the game, and I still play it. That's very interesting to see the new changes because for like 6 years they changed maybe everything from graphics to balance, like really everything. And it's happened with Bestow also. It's amazing to see how the game grows. So like new features, new things are added in the game, and I would really like that if you guys will also try it on the open playtest and leave us feedback on your experience in the game. Also, maybe it would be interesting if you just write down some other asymmetric games that you like to play now or enjoyed to play some time ago, because it's interesting to see other asymmetric games and their ideas. I'm actually not sure what should I tell more. I've played it with Daylight on this weekend, and I've met an interesting back on the mm, don't remember this map. On the Lampkin, I suppose. there was there were an abuse between two bushes because survivor can go between it, but the killer no. So if you play Dead by Daylight, try it. But if you're the killer, please stay away from this place and from this map until that will be fixed. And also, guys, I should remind you that you can join us on Discord, like right here and to right now, and to talk with us in real life and we will answer your questions or just have some talk. What else can I tell you? It's like I'm now of the ideas. So if you have some questions, please leave them in the chat. Just thought now that it's interesting contrast in Bestow and Dead by Daylight that in the Dead by Daylight you can change your perks, you can choose from a big amount of them, but in Bestow you you shouldn't like choose perks, but the characters because they have completely different abilities, but at the same time you should upgrade them during the match. So when you start the match, you should think like what I need for the first time, like defensive, uh, defensive ability, or double jump, or just shooting ability. And of course, the same with beasts and the killers. Oh no, as a beast, there is no need to upgrade your abilities because they upgrade automatically while you're playing. I just remembered one thing that for the build you see now, we change uh, the the gamma in the game, and now it should be more. It should be seem more lighter, more saturated. So tell what you think if it became better or no, because we made some comments in our social media that the game looked too dark, and it's hard just see what happened uh, nor than understand.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, guys, I really apologize for this situation. I have a very bad technical issue. Hopefully, it didn't break the stream and Daria could speak with you and the translation was on. So, as far as I understand, there is no sound coming from me at all, right? Daria?
Right now, no.
Sorry, well before I appeared, right? Before that, there was no sound at all.
Yeah, no.
No sound. Okay, just guys, I had really terrible situation, but I managed to solve it. And sorry for making you wait so much, and hope Daria didn't have a tough time talking with you all. Okay, so let's see if I missed some, I would say, questions or not.
No.
Oh, okay. So when we were talking with you, what was left? What was our questions we discussed?
I'm not really remember.
Okay, sorry. Okay, then let's move on with the program which I developed for today. As you may notice, it's more Daria talk today than me, which is quite unusual because she is in charge of hosting all our streams, and I am a person who should be a talking head. But you see, as today we are discussing, well, how Dead by Daylight and Beast Tower are just similar to one another, how they differ. You see, we being indie devs, we don't care much about, you know, telling things out loud and talking about our inspiration and, you know, being really thankful for those who gave us such a good, you know, impulse to move on and to be really cool. That's why, you see, I think nobody gets offended that we discuss DBD and all its maybe things which people don't like and trying to understand how we can, you know, do something better. So what do you think, Daria, if it's okay for us to have a talk like that?
I can see something bad in it.
Okay. All right. Another thing which you see I really want to discuss, and it's a kind of a very interesting point for me because I'm a game designer, and it's always, I'm always interested in all the small things and how they work together. You see, when we were making open tests and when we were making closed focus groups, we tried to invite both men and women because, as we already told, as already told, there are quite many girls playing DBD. That's why if there is a great interest of the fan base of this product towards our game, that's why we decided that it would be a good idea to ask girls to play our game too. You see, you mentioned one very important point, that in DBD you in DBD, you don't have to worry about lacking some, I would even say, cyber sport skills, like having good aiming, good button smashing, some crazy reaction and prediction and everything like that. So you just rely on similar, quite common cunningness and, decision making, which is quite simple, honestly. But when you play Beast Tower, you have to deal with many things. For example, as you can see right now, you do lots of vertical movement. It's parkour, which of course we try to make as simple as possible. Just, use walls and space and maybe some camera moves. And Daria, when you played Beast Tower for the first time, did you have any issue with the fact that it's, I would say, more complicated than DBD in terms of controls and what you need to learn and be doing?
Definitely yes. Because you need to move like all the time, and sometimes when you play for the first time, you can't understand that you can climb there or you cannot climb there, and you need to think how to climb there, how you need some time to understand how the parkour actually works.
Okay. And then, because I remember our first talk after you tried Beast Tower for the first time. I believe it was around maybe 4, maybe 3 games, right? Something like that, in a row. And I asked you, and I already knew that you just played a lot of DPD, I asked the first thing that, okay, how you like the game? And you said, yeah, I like it, and I want to be part of the team, and I want to make it happen. I want Beast Tower to be a cool game, and I want to play it. And then I asked you, okay, was it more complicated than DBD? And you gave the very similar answer that yes, it's far more complicated. But how that happened that although it's more complicated, that it requires more skill and more muscle memory, muscle training, that you like it so much and that you are excited about this game as you are for the DBD, although it's more complicated. So what helps you to move on with that?
Also, you need to learn how to play this game, but I wouldn't say that it's very tough to mm, to understand how to play it well. So just some practice, and also as the map is very big and the situation in each match are unique. So it's very interesting to play it again and again, and you always meet some unusual situation, some very funny situation, and so
Yeah, so and does it matter for ya that there is still an option in Beast Tower not to fight, but to run away?
mm, for the first maybe I don't know, maybe 2 months, I I really neglected this idea, and I just tried to escape as much as possible. But later, I um, when I started to play it better and understood how parkour actually works, um, I were able to try to fight also, and now I would say that both options for me are good. That if I see that I can escape, I will escape, and if I see that I cannot escape, I will try to fight back and maybe win, maybe lose.
Okay. Yeah, because you see, I personally need to notice that, well, I'm not a guy who is good at fighting, honestly speaking. I do my best trying to escape, and I don't manage to do it every time. And there I could just say that the truth, because after each game we play, we try to at least gather some simple data. Who played, what character, what was the result, either you died, or you just escaped, or you became the winner by just surviving to the very last. And I always either die most of the time, or I escape. Because you see, guys, sometimes people say that Beast Tower looks like a battle royale game because we have, reducing space by the end of the match, although it moves around the whole map, so you need to run, run, and run, and you can't just hide in some place and wait it to shrink for the very just small piece of space. That's why you see we wanted to make the game as a real parkour chase. And if you have no option to win by parkour, that's why people won't be really in it. So yes, that's a very important feature of ours that you should decide whenever you run away or you win by fighting. Because people are different and people try different things. And what is your suggestion? How do you think most DBD players would play Beast Tower? Would they try to run away, or, I mean, as raiders, of course, or they would try to fight to the last? What's your idea about that?
Maybe if to tell people that this game is very similar to Dead by Daylight, so when playing as a raider, they will try to escape. It's just a suggestion.
But still, you also mentioned such a point, which actually I do hear from many DBD players who try Beast Tower, that it's really important for you that in Beast Tower you can fight back and not being just a helpless prey. That's right?
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
okay, so it's right that when playing Dead by Daylight, sometimes you really want to kick the maniac harder than just with a pellet.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys, we have maybe around 3 minutes left. Guys, I'm sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so just want maybe to sum up some talk of ours. First of all, I just want to stress one more time that we by no means want to, well, to make a game which be a Dead by Light killer or things like that. Maybe, Dara, you remember at some point when World of Warcraft became one of the most popular and, earning game on the market. A lot of companies would announce that they're gonna make a WoW killer, like Warhammer Online: Age of Reckoning. Well, in our approach, we don't want to make another Dead by Daylight. Yes, we're inspired by Daylight. A lot of people like Daria in our team loves this game, and I myself, both as a game designer and both as an artist, admire their game design and admire their art style because they work perfectly well together. But in our case, DBD is just an inspiration, just some good source of thought. That's why we would be more than happy to have DBD players to play our game, to tell their experience, because you see, it's really cool when people get something which is new but still reminds them of what they are used to and what they like. And that's how we are working, because we want to make at least some unique mixture of different genres and game mechanics, which would make it really nice and really cool. That's why we would appreciate you joining our social media, keeping an eye on when the playtest would be available to you, and joining the game and giving us your feedback. That's what we are working for, because you see, guys, to the very final moment, you make the game for people who would be playing it. And the best reward for each game developer is really shiny eyes and happy people who play your title. That's what's our actual goal. So, thank you very much for being with us today, and thank you, Daria, for answering all the questions and for helping me out when I had to disappear from the stream. Guys,
Yeah.
sorry for that. It was just some a kind of a situation which I need to solve with technical issues. Sorry for that again. Hope it won't repeat in the future, but well, it's like game development, things happen. That's why, Daria, just as the main speaker of the stream, just maybe you say a few words to our viewers.
Thank you all that watched our stream today, and it was really great to be here today and talk with you and as well.
Alright, guys, so as I joined Daria in thanking you all, and just follow us and keep an eye on what we are posting. Subscribe, share, and like all our content. That really makes a difference for us. So have a great weekend, and the beast will come.